Hey, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We're going to continue our journey into discovering just a little bit more of Chinese expression a day. Last time we talked about very sexism phrase depicting how women walk, which is really slow. And that explains why somebody is late. So it's our winded way to say tardy. 姗姗来迟. And today we are going to say, no, you better not be late. This is our way to say you better not be late. Handling not fit late. A little bit awkward, right? But I'll tell you to make sense of it. 事不宜迟. Okay, you can see I use a circle over here. That means it's a light tone. You don't need to go fully 不 kind of 事不宜迟. You don't need to emphasize that actually because it's a negation and it's a set phrase everybody knows. Like if they can hear 是的宜迟, this the they don't even need to hear clearly what that is. They know this is blank filled with 不 for sure. And you have, for the efficiency of speaking, you don't have to fully pronounce it with a falling tone. You can just lightly touch it. We call it the fifth tone, kind of light tone. So 事不宜迟. 事不宜迟. You don't say 事不宜迟, right? 事不宜迟. Okay. 是 handling came from this image of up tilted hairdo of a person, which is government bureaucracy vision back then. So people who work in a bureau, they wear their hairdo and a certain headgear as a set form to show their rank in that agency. So that's why we have this binded hairdo on the top with the hair gear here, up tilted with some handles. I mean, if you see the ancient period drama, ancient people's costume, the ancient official costume have pretty elaborate headgears, and that shows the ranking. So government official here, and then with a hand symbol over there. Like this is our hand symbol. It's not like a harassment, right? With a hand touching on the official. Nobody dare to do that. It simply means people in that position, in this government agency position, are handling something. So it's your business that you have to go through this agency to get approval or something, or license or whatever. And people who are on this job are going to use their hand to do it for you. So that's a kind of handling. And 不 have this upper limit of the sky and this upward shooting arrow thing, kind of shooting upward. That's, according to legend, a bird flying toward the sky, refusing to go down to earth. So it's always going upward. And that's the negation. Well, that theory is to be checked. But for now, let's deal with like that. It's our most commonly used negation. We have several negation words, but this is the most commonly used. It's the bird say no to the ground, like I'm not coming down. That's the origin. Okay. 宜. Okay, we have this big arch thing with a chimney on top. That is our housing, our space, our cover, our shelter. So however you want to look at it, it is some domestic space, personal. It's not an institution. It's just your space. Okay. And then we have this ground. So in other words, we have roof on the top, we have ground, and this symbol, somebody interpreted it as the hanging down of, like the draping down of a piece of meat, like in that shape, piece of meat. So that means this is why it becomes fit, okay? Because you have roof over your head, you have a solid ground, and you have a meat within there. That is good life, good living, because you have something to eat and you're safe in that space. That's the basic human needs, right? Both of them are met in this space, this symbol, simply as saying you have food, you have shelter. Life is good. It's good for living. So as long as these two basic conditions are met, you're all set in a sense. So this set, this comfort, this fitful for living. It's fit for living. Eventually, it got extended into it's good for living. It's fit. It's like conditions are met. It's qualified for living. 十, so saying we have this rhino image with this tail kind of hanging down like that, and with this horn over here, and this is the ox image, and with hairy tail, that's our rhino. And then we have this walking sign with footsteps, like strokes 3 times, like that. And then we have this foot image at the bottom, three toes, simplified to 3 toes, and this arch kind of shortened the arch. So we have the foot and footstep. That means together combined means walking. So walking as if it's a rhino walking like a rhino. So that's kind of like slow walking, really casually walking, not in a hurry at all kind of walking. So that's like if the result of that, take your time, really slowly walking. The result of that could be tardy, could be late. So with this phrase, 事不宜迟, this 宜 means fitful, right? Like good for or good condition. To like 迟, like the being late is not a good condition for handling things, because we can imagine if you want to go through some government agency to get some licensing, right? You want to be jump in front of the queue and allow that enough time to be processed through the layers of sign off underwriters or whoever are giving you the stamps or approvals. You want to leave them enough time. So you want to get in the queue as soon as possible. That's the sense of why 事不宜迟. This 事 especially pointed out as the government agency kind of handling 事. And you can extend that agency, like if you are not dealing with government agency, still, if you're handling something that you already know you have to do, you have to tackle at some point, you better start early too, so that you're not so rushed toward the end. So that's our Chinese way to advise people. Don't procrastinate, do it early, get in the queue early. Okay, 事不宜迟. And I mean, it's not exactly expedite, because this is kind of a reprioritizing things and kind of you process this one first sense, not exactly, but that expedite to give you a sense of don't make sure you don't be late on this. That's why I picked expedite. It's not exactly the right sense. Here I want to show 宜家 IKEA, amazing translation. So this is a Chinese IKEA storefront with both languages written together. IKEA we've translated as 宜家. You can see it's kind of like 宜 is I, right? And 家 is kind of a Kia. So sound-wise, it's kind of, mapping right. But the meaning-wise is whoever does this translation is top-level language user. And that person knows about the ancient Chinese, because this 宜 came from this. You see, both 宜and 家 have this structure, this arched space with a chimney on top. Both of them are related to domestic living space. And then this 宜, we have this good meaning of you have meat in there. You have your solid ground, you have your meat in there. It's really good for living. This is a well-conditioned living space, basically. And then you make that your home. This is a pig image. So you have another like a living meat underneath that cover. Like this is home, you have food, and you have a cover. So this is our concept, essentials of what made up of a good living space. 宜家, and then we have 家 again. 家居 simply means furniture. The way of saying this is for your living. So 宜家 is really top-notch translation, not only matching pretty well sound, but the meaning is only when I learned what 宜 actually means, it relates to 家, the good conditions for making it your home. That meaning, I realized how go like really, really first class level of translation in Chinese of this Swedish brand. All right, cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.